All right, I got an interesting topic today because someone asked me a question on the Audio Bus forum. So his question was, how do I connect my external hardware, my synth hardware, to my iPhone? And I didn't want to answer this question because actually this is really complicated because there are a lot of ways that you could connect, and some of them are expensive and some of them are not expensive. And I certainly don't have all the different ways that you could be done. I can't show them here, but I realized when I started thinking about the problem that actually I have quite a few ways here, and so why don't I just do a little demo? Maybe you won't see your favorite way here, but you might see something you haven't seen before. So the first piece of equipment I want to show you, this is the Focusrite 2i2 audio interface. So this has two inputs. These are mono inputs. They have volume knobs. Is this a gain switch or impedance switch? I'm not sure. There's a monitor section where you can plug headphones in and either hear the output coming back from your iPad through here, or you can hit this switch and directly monitor without going through the iPad. I'm not selling this for them, but for those of you who want to know how to do it, that's one way. So I like this because it's very complete. It allows me to connect, I can connect my guitar cable into here. I can connect XLR microphones, condenser microphones. I can get 48 volts phantom power. So if you really want to do it right, there are a lot of other audio interfaces similar to this. And I'm not saying this is the best one, but this is the one that I bought and I'm quite happy with it. So if you see something like this, check the reviews. If they're okay or good, then that's a reasonable way to connect. And then there are also some adapters that we need just to get this connected. So I think the first thing I want to show you is how I actually connect this to an iPad. So the problem here, if you look at this cable, I've got this kind of USB input on this side and this USB plug on this side, and this obviously does not go into an iPad. So this is the first method that I use to get my iPad connected to, iPad Pro connected to Focusrite 2i2. So this has USB-C on one end and the female USB connector on the other end. And I'll put a link to this. It's from a company called Ugreen. It's obviously not an Apple part, but it works fine. I'm not having any problems with it. I plug that in there. I plug this in here. And now my audio interface is, I think it's going now. So that works great, except that this device draws a lot of power. On a normal size iPad, you cannot run this device. And the reason you can't is because the battery simply isn't big enough to power it. Even with this big iPad, it's going to drain my power very quickly. So if I need to stay connected for a long time, I won't use this adapter. I have this one instead. And I'll put a picture and a link to show what this is. This is very cheap. It's about $12, I think. On one end, it has a USB-C plug, and on the other end, it has audio output, HDMI output, a USB 3.0 output, and a charging connector with USB-C. So this is where this red cable comes in. I would put the charging cable in there so that my iPad can charge while I'm connected. Then I would connect this thing to the iPad. You can see there's a blue light showing that it's connected. This would go into the power source, so that could be your charger, or often these small chargers don't even have enough power for this, so I find it easier to go into my iMac as a power source. I'm not going to plug it in right now because I don't really need it. And then this USB 3.0 goes in here. Is that right? Right. And now this is booting up, taking power from the iPad, and if I needed to, I could charge the iPad at the same time. So that's yet another option. Now, if you have the older iPad, or if you're using iPhone that has the Lightning connector, then obviously you're not going to be using USB-C to connect to external audio source. So let's look at that situation. Here's an iPhone 6s. And if I wanted to connect that to this Focusrite, definitely this iPhone cannot power the Focusrite 2i2. So I need, first of all, I need this, this adapter. This is called the Apple Camera Kit adapter. On one end it has the lightning connector to go into iPhone or the older iPads. And on the other end I have USB 3 and I have a lightning charger port. So what I do with this is, first up I need to get a lightning cable that's connected to a power source. In this case it's connected to my Mac, and that needs to go in here so that the iPhone is able to charge iPhone is able to charge from external power source and still have the USB open for my Focusrite audio interface. So I would take the Focusrite audio interface and plug that in here after I have the power connected. And now let's get the brightness up. Now I could go into an app like, well, I can go straight into our Oscilloscope app, I hope. I don't know where it is on this iPhone. There it is. And I should be able to take an audio input straight from this Focusrite 2i2. So let's try that. I'm going to plug my guitar in, and here's one of my two guitars. And that's working. So I don't know if you can see this. I've got the spectrogram view going here, and you can see that as I play on the guitar, I am getting input. Turn up the volume a little bit. There, I'm clearly seeing the spectral view of this guitar coming through. I can also do, just for fun, let's do the same thing going into the iPad. So I'm going to go in. I guess we'll go in through this same adapter that I just unplugged. And we don't need the lightning cable, we don't need this. USB goes straight in. And I can bring up the oscilloscope over here. And we can go to trigger mode. Let's take the level down. I want to have oscilloscope only. Zoom in that waveform and take the level down. There it is. Here's a spectrogram view. Here's the combined waveform and spectrogram. Right, so those are some of the ways that that I connect external audio sources into my iPads and iPhones. Obviously, that's not all the ways. There are probably some good ways we didn't talk about, but that might give you some idea about how you might want to go about doing that. If you like this type of video, hit subscribe so that next time you're watching YouTube, this will be prioritized in your YouTube news feed. And if you just want to be nice to us, hit that like button so that we'll get some more prioritization on YouTube in general. And we'll see you in the next video.